like I feel like I'm confined to one little box. Otherwise, in my class, like I, go about here, there. It's just so much more. But I try. Even with this little box, I push the edges.
Stuck. Hello, ma'am. How are
Hi,
you?
Madhuparna. I'm good. It's so nice to see her. Janvi calling you ma'am. Madhuparna ma'am is
My
going to
mom
join
started
us.
calling
Like,
me Madhu.
no, it's cool. Yeah, it sounds so cool to have our students being called that. So it's nice. How's
How
your gang? How's your gang of
It's
friends?
good. All scattered, to be honest. Like, not a lot of them in Bangalore anymore. In
Oh, okay,
Kolkata
okay.
and all of that. But yeah, they're good. We miss you so much. Of course, this pandemic's happened and new normal, so to say. So, how do you think you've been affected by it, and how do you think your life has changed?
So for me, teaching was everything became online, right? So that was first very limiting because I'm a very kinesthetic
Yeah.
person and I love the interaction of
Right.
like I need this, I need you
Yes.
to nod, I need you to smile, I need you to ask questions. And teaching online was like, I mean, I can understand students as well, like 8:30 class, like they don't want their videos to be switched on. They're feeling like, no ma'am, we don't want to switch on. I would find it so difficult to actually get even few students to switch on their videos, but it took time. I mean, it's very easy to actually finish portions online. Like you just have to start and end. There is no distraction, there is no color, there is nothing. That's not the point of a teacher, right? A teacher is not about finishing portions, it's about connecting with the students and making that practical thing of that class. So for me, it took a lot of effort for me to get the students to interact, to pull them from their house, from whatever situation they are in, to pull them into class, to get them to interact. And I think the first few weeks, like I really like I had to have a bag of tricks, like some drama I had to do, some jokes I had to look through things to just get them interacted, to make them switch on their videos and all of that. So I've done PG in MSc Clinical, and I've been advising students, not professionally counseling them. But in what did happen was in 2018-19, there was a girl who actually committed suicide, and one of our own students. So it kind of, all of us were very affected by it. And we really felt that we want to reach out more to the people, reach out more to the student. I see students going through so much, going through so much in their life, and we kind of only see one dimensional, how they are in class, and just wanted to reach out more to the students. And I find that the students are more open about reaching out again to us. They are open in seeking out mental health, from teachers or from friends and things like that.
So even when I was in college, I thought we were very comfortable in reaching out to our professors, especially from the psychology department. I think we shared a lot in class as well with
Yeah.
you, your class specifically. I think because you made us very comfortable. I mean, it was
Very open.
almost friendship.
Yeah,
That
very
okay, I
open.
can tell ma'am anything. So that I think that helps a lot.
Like everything is fine. Why do you need to feel depressed? Why do you need to feel that? It's not that. Like firstly, there are genetic reasons as well. You can't help it about certain things. And like just the fact that you feel, you don't have to feel guilty that I'm feeling this, and I'm not justified in feeling this. The whole idea is that we're not judgmental about you all, so it just
Right.
kind of feels that just say whatever you want to say, just talk. Like I think you all were my social support as well, not only my husband, my children, my in-laws, my colleagues, students as well. I would come and tell, vent in class, or just discuss in class,
Yeah,
and there would be
exactly.
a two-way thing. So you kind of feel very relaxed at the end of it. Mental health and counseling took off a big thing with the pandemic, because a lot of people who were suffering through mental health, this pandemic kind of tipped them over, and they finally like, okay, we need help now. Otherwise they were just like, okay, we'll somehow adjust kind of a thing. And this kind of like, okay, we need to get help.
Personally also, I recognize that people are more open to talking about their issues because like they've been cooped up at home and now they've just reached a tipping point and they're like, okay, no, I have to just go vent it out to someone.
Yeah.
So I think that's very good.
Yeah. And it's easier to reach out also. Otherwise, imagine going physically to that place for counseling. It just required so much. Like, for example, a session is 1 hour. I do a 1 hour session. They would need half an hour to get there, half an hour to, go back home. And it's like a 2.5 hour program. Here, it was, it's so much more easier. Like 4 o'clock, if I say 4 to 5, 4 o'clock, they have to switch it on. So it really saved a lot of time as well.
Even for elder people, like not just, in their 20s, I think, this entire concept of talking to someone over video call or talking to someone like online they've just become more comfortable with it because obviously, especially for Indians, we're not that tech savvy.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are like, okay, what is this? It's new. But now they've just gotten used to it. And I think that's very nice.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Obviously, like it's very convenient and like more people can, talk to
Yeah.
professionals because of online. But sometimes, the physical presence of the therapist can help better in certain areas. Have you faced that?
Not for all. For a lot of them, I'm just happy they're reaching out. So
Yeah, of
that's
course.
So that's something which I'm really, really thankful for. But like for example, relationship, like couple counseling when I was doing, we had a Zoom session like this, and I didn't know who was looking at whom. See here, I know you're looking at me, and so there it was like, and I couldn't see their body language properly. And for these things, you really need to see body language.
Exactly.
Yeah, and they didn't see my body language as well, so that was another thing. So I, sometimes when they ask for an audio call, I agree because I just want them. I always tell them that I would prefer a physical video call, but if they say audio, I agree. But the thing is, if I'm just doing
Exactly.
they don't get my like my interest. They don't get it, because they're not seeing my things. That I did feel, but again, overall, I just feel happy that people are reaching out.
People are talking about.
Yeah. People who have never shared, who've never told things to anybody, to their friends or relatives, they're reaching out. I just feel okay, like there's some relief they will be getting. And they're also a little afraid that they might get, their emotions might show or they might go overboard. So they just want to have that little barrier with it, which again, like we shouldn't have that in counseling. But I feel, again, it's something is better than nothing.
Something is happening. Yeah, it's baby steps.
Yeah.
Right. As a therapist, how do you take care of your own mental health? Because obviously this is very strenuous on us as well.
Yeah, I do my physical fitness, so I have my 1 hour.
You always done that.
Yeah, so that's generally that keeps me going throughout. Like morning, I have a session, I work out, and evening I work out, and I work out with my sons. I spend a lot of time with my sons. Whenever free time, I just chill with my sons a lot. So and Saturday, Sunday, I generally don't take any cases. Like Monday to Friday, I take 3 to 5 or 4 to 6. I have cases, but Saturday, Sunday, I generally don't keep it unless it's like a helpline kind of an emergency thing. They're like, we really need to speak to you or something like that. If it's one of our students and all of that, I keep it on a Saturday, Sunday. But otherwise, Saturday, Sunday is like really nothing at all. So you get in all the energy all over again for the rest of the week. You feel excited about the next week again. So Saturday, Sunday, I don't do anything. Do you do that as well? Do you take off?
I do work on Saturdays, but Sundays I usually
keep
have
it to yourself.
Yeah. For us to be able to help others, we have to help ourselves as well.
Yeah, very true. Yeah. What do you do? What else do you do?
I mean, right now it's a little tricky, but then I have my reading. I have I'm learning Spanish, and
okay.
I think those things are like really interesting for me.
One of the things which I went through, which I think I want to tell you as well, is we end up taking too many cases because we want to help, and that can kind of it's not that we are going to get affected by it, but physically sometimes it's really very tiring.
One suggestion that you would say I should never forget as a person, as like your student or as a therapist, any suggestion you would like to give?
As a student, like I would say for a student, therapist and all, I'm sure you have your own things which you figured it out. But my mom used to tell me, this too shall pass. That line is like my motto. Like whenever I'm in like one, oh no, I can't do this. Like, why is this happening to me? This is going to pass. Like this too shall pass. Like I know it's confirmed, it's going. It's just somehow very comforting. So I mean, it's not that it's like karma, fate, and stuff like that. But I do know like this moment will pass. It's a very very realistic picture, and I don't stress about things too much because I know that tomorrow when I look back, this is just going to be another just another blip in my day. So yeah, this too shall pass is my thing. I constantly feel it. Whenever I'm extremely stressed, I just think of that and I feel so calm.
I think your optimism, your energy is almost infectious. Like whoever's around you, like yes, we can do it.
I know. So some people might find it irritating. Okay, like I had one student, not irritating, but it's like, ma'am, how are you so so positive? Like stop being so optimistic. It's Corona, ma'am. We can't go out somewhere. You side with us, and I'm like, yeah, I know. I definitely feel low as well. There are days when I'm like really low. But I just feel that, we can use this medium like social support to pull ourselves up. We can really
Right.
use help from each other. So whenever I'm with somebody, like I generally get that energy, like I can share and feel better. Like I can make you feel better and you can make me feel better. It's like,
Right, of course.
you tell me, what is your thing which you use in your life? I love to hear people's like motto kind of a thing. What's your motto?
One thing that I usually follow is that when it gets too much, I just take some time off for self-care.
Yeah.
Just to spend some time for myself without technology or not even interacting with people. Just doing my thing. Maybe drinking coffee, listening to music, going for a walk. Just doing my thing, and I think that helps a lot.
Yeah, truly. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. It's a pleasure to hear you, when you called me. Like when you said Madhuparna, I was like, the Bong Girls, Your team of gangs was such a pleasure to teach in class and all of that. It was so nice to hear that you're part of Cadabams also. I'm happy that you've taken a profession which is to reach out to people, to help to people. And I personally know Cadabams because I had gone there for, to check for my dad. Yeah, nice to see that you're part of Cadabams and you're working towards mental health.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you again, and thanks, John.
Yeah, same here. It was fun. It was so fun.